Hello students, today we will talk about determination of sex or sex determination. All the living individuals, they reproduce to form the next generation or their offsprings. In most individuals, most organisms, whether they are animal or plants, we know that male and female individuals, they are different. As in human being, male individuals are different, a boy is different, and the female individual, a girl, is different. But in lower animals, invertebrates, like some snails, some worms, both the sexes, male and female, they are present in the same organism. And those individuals, they are known as hermaphrodite. So, we don't have to go into the details of this. And in plants also, in a single flower, sometimes male organs like the anthers and female organs like the gynoecium, they are present in the same flower, or they may be present in different flowers. When different flowers are there, they are known as unisexual flowers, and when both the sexes are present in the same flower, they are known as bisexual flowers. The example you must be knowing, sometimes even the complete plant is different, having only single sex, like in cucurbita family. Cucumbers, gourds, bitter gourd, karela, dudhi, these plants, the cucurbita family, they are unisexual plants. Male plants are different than the female plants. But in most of the plants, both the sexes, they are present on a single plant. Now about the animals. In lower animals, both the sexes may be present in the single organism, but in vertebrates, the higher organism, as we, the human being, both the sexes are different. So in this topic, we will discuss about the sex determination in human being in detail, but very briefly we will discuss about the determination of sex in some other organisms also. So this determination of sex may be of two types. One may be environmental. So environment can also determine the sex. Environmental sex determination, and the other one, the most important and prevailed, is genetic determination of sex. In human beings, the determination of sex is genetic. First, we will discuss in brief about the environmental sex determination. It may be again of two types. One is temperature dependent. So in some organism, like in turtle, reptiles, or alligators, these are reptiles. When the male and female gametes, they fuse to form zygote, this all of you know. So this zygote can develop into a male individual or a female individual depending upon the temperature. If temperature is low, then mostly the male individuals are formed, and if the temperature is high, then mostly female individuals are formed. So temperature can determine sex in some reptiles, and here it is not dependent on genes or chromosomes. It is not genetic. So the other environmental sex determination is dependent upon the location. Location where the individual is after fertilization. A very interesting story or detail is there, that in some snails you know, like Unio, or this one, like what you call, this is a snail. So these snails, they form a mound, one over the other. they present one over the other and a hype or mound is formed. What happens? Suppose this individual is a female individual and this is the zygote which is developing on this female individual. If this zygote develops on the female individual, it will turns into a male. Otherwise, it will be female. So in snails, after fertilization also, they can change their sex depending upon the location. If it is female, it will be a male, otherwise it will be a female. Once it becomes male or female, then it cannot change its sex and it will be male or female throughout its life. So in some snails, it is also not genetic and it depends upon location and it is environmental. So this is in brief about the environmental sex determination. Now the important one, the genetic sex determination as we human beings have. But this is also, we can have two types, one in human beings we will discuss, but one in birds. In birds also the genetic sex differentiation determination is there, but it is opposite to male, opposite to human beings. In birds, the male ones, they are having ZZ chromosome and the female ones, they are having WZ. What does it mean? The two chromosomes, they are different in female, opposite to the human beings, and they are same in males and it is opposite to the human beings. And these chromosomes, they are known as sex chromosomes. When both the chromosomes are same, it is known as homogametic chromosomes, and if they are different, they are known as heterogametic pair of chromosomes. Hetero means different, homo means same. So if two are same, it is known as homogametic chromosome pair and it is known as heterogametic chromosome pair. In human being, we have female as XX and males as the chromosome pair is XY. So females, they are homogametic and males, they are heterogametic in human being, opposite to the birds. So this is in brief about the other individuals. Now we will take sex determination in detail in human beings. So in human beings, all of us know 46 chromosomes are present. Total number is 46. Suppose this is cell and this is the nucleus. In this nucleus, these 46 chromosomes are present. When it is at rest, the cell is not dividing. They form long thread-like structure. They are present in the form of long thread and a network of chromatin is there. And all the 46, they are entangled with one another. When this cell starts dividing, either by mitotic division or meiotic division, the chromosomes, they become smaller, they become shorter, and now we can see in the nucleus these small rod-like 46 chromosomes. At the time of meiotic cell division, there are two types of cell division. The second meiotic cell division is responsible for the formation of gametes. And in sexual reproduction, male and female gametes are needed. They fuse with each other. The act is known as fertilization and a new individual is formed. So at the time of meiotic cell division, meiotic, it is meiotic and it is also known as reduction cell division. Why it is known as reduction? Because the chromosome number halfens at the time of gamete formation. So first I am drawing the karyotype. It is known as karyotype. Karyotype means all the chromosomes of human beings. So there are 46, and these 46, they are present in 23 pairs. These are not alone. In a single pair, 2 chromosomes are present which are similar. They are not same, they are similar, and one chromosome, it comes from the female side or the mother side, and the other chromosome, it comes from the mother side and it comes from the father side. These both chromosomes, they are similar, not same. Why they are similar? And they form a single pair, and this pair is known as homologous pair. Homologous pair of chromosome. So in human being, in a human cell, we have 23 pairs of homologous chromosome. So the total number will be 46. This situation is known as diploid. What is diploid? Diploid, di means 2, ploidy means set. So total 2 complete sets of chromosomes are present. 23 forming one set, the other 23 forming the other set. So 2 sets or diploid situation is there in a human cell which is present in the body, or we can say somatic cell. So or it can also be represented by 2n. The diploid cell can also be represented by 2n. The opposite to diploid is haploid, and haploid is represented by single n. Haploid means a single set. One set is present. Single set means only 23 chromosomes are present, and these haploid cells, they are the male or female gametes. So gametes, they are haploid in nature. They are having one set of chromosome. One set of chromosomes means all the 23 chromosomes will be there out of these 46 which are present in 23 pairs. So I think now you know what is diploid and what is haploid. Now as I want to show you the karyotype of human cell, so they are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and this is the 23rd pair. And this is sex chromosome. And this is known as XX. This is the first pair, this is second pair, third pair, fourth pair, fifth pair, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, 22. So in this way, this is the karyotype of human cell. 22 pairs of chromosome are present, and they are arranged with their decreasing order in length. So these are the tallest and these are smallest. And some other characteristics are also taken as the position of centromere and some other things also. But briefly, there are 22 pairs. This is one pair, this is second pair, third pair. All the pairs are homologous chromosome pairs. In this way, 22 pairs, they are present, and these 22 pairs, they are known as autosomes because they don't play any part in the sex determination of the individual. Sex determination means the offspring, whether it is boy or girl, it is a male or a female individual. So these 22, the autosomes, they do not play any role in determination of sex only. Other characters, they are dependent on these autosomes, like the skin color, the eye color, like what is hair color and what is the height of the individual, and many other colors, other characters, they are dependent upon the autosomes. Only the sex, whether the individual will be a male or female, is dependent on the sex chromosome. Apart from these sex chromosome have certain other genes also. And now in female, the 23rd pair, this is 23rd pair, both the chromosomes are similar. Again I am saying they are similar, not same. So, but both are known as X and X. But in male, if the individual is male, this 23rd pair is known as X and Y. The Y chromosome is different than the X, and it is a very small, very short chromosome, and it has very few genes. One important is it is for determination of sex, and the other is for baldness. You can see only the male individuals in human being, they are bald. All the females, they have hair, but the baldness is only in males, because the gene for this baldness, it is present on this Y chromosomes. So this Y is responsible for the offspring to be a male. So this 23rd pair in males, it is known as heterogametic pair. Heterogametic chromosome pair, and when both are same, this is known as homogametic chromosome pair. So this is about the sex chromosomes in human beings. 22 autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosomes. Now, the new individual is formed, all of you know, by the fusion of male and female gametes. In human beings, the male gametes, they are known as sperms, and female gametes, they are ova. So, if this is an ovum, this is the nucleus, this is the sperm. When this sperm fuses with the nucleus of ovum, then zygote is formed, and this zygote, it will turn into the new individual. This all of you know. So this ovum as well as this sperm, both are haploid in nature. Haploid means they are having only 23 chromosomes, not 46, and not in pairs. Out of each pair, one chromosome is present. In sperm, that is 23, 22 autosomes and one sex chromosome. In ovum also 22 autosomes and one sex chromosome is present, and these gametes, they are formed by meiotic cell division or reduction cell division. So these gametes, they are haploid in nature. When they fuse with each other, 23 of sperm and 23 of ovum, they form 46 chromosomes, which are in 23 pairs to form a new individual, and all the somatic cells of the new individual will now have 23 pairs of chromosome or 46 chromosome, which are formed by the fusion of this male gamete having only 23, female gamete only having 23, and in total, when the zygote is formed, this is zygote, this is the nucleus of zygote, and this zygote has 46 chromosomes. This is how a new individual is formed, and the formation of zygote, all of you know, is known as fertilization. Now we will see how the sex is determined of the new individual or the individual in the next generation. Suppose this is the parents. P is for parent, and here this parent is, suppose, female parent. Female parent, each cell will have 22 pairs of autosomes plus 1 pair of sex chromosome. Is it okay? So the body cell of the female parent, it will have 43 pairs. Now when meiosis is done, this reduction division is there, then 22 autosomes plus 1 sex chromosome. Here the sex chromosome are XX, so I can write here a single X. This gamete is formed. This is the female gamete which is formed, or both two can be formed, and both will have 22A plus X. 22 autosomes plus 1 sex chromosome. So on the female side, this type of gametes are formed after meiosis. Now we will see what is there on male side. On male side also 22 pairs of autosomes are there plus 1 pair of sex chromosome which is XY. This chromosome we call as X, or we can write capital Y. This chromosome pair we call XY on the male side. Again, through meiosis, gametes are formed, and here the gametes are 22A plus X, and the other type of gametes are 22A plus Y. What does it mean? At meiosis, this pair also separated out like these one, but as they are heterogametic, so the gametes are also heterogametic. Some gametes, they have X chromosome, the other gametes, they are having Y chromosome. Out of this pair, only one can come into the gamete. As they are different or hetero, so the gametes are also hetero. And there are somewhat equal chances in the gametes to have this X chromosome or the Y chromosomes. On this side, the female side, all the gametes, they are same or homogametic, and they are having only one type of chromosome, sex chromosome, and that is X. Now when fertilization occurs, what happens? This female gamete, there is a random fertilization, there is the random fusion. Any male can fuse with any female, the fusion is random. Suppose this gamete fuses with this. This gamete fuses with this. Zygote is formed, and what that zygote will have 44A plus X and X. These two will fuse, so 44 autosomes will be there, and X chromosome will be there. This can also fuse with this also. This gamete can also fuse with the other gamete, and the other gamete will have 44A and XY. This X and this Y. So after fusion, these are the chromosomal constitution of zygotes which are formed after fertilization. Now see this. This can fuse with this. Again 44A plus XX. This can fuses with this. Again 44A plus XY. So these four type of individuals can be formed after the fusion of male and female gamete after fertilization. So we can see from here, we know this Y chromosome is male determining chromosome. It has genes which causes maleness in the next generation. Why this X is female determining gene, having female determining gene, and when X is present, then female individual is caused. But in this individual, both X and Y is there. But this Y has a superiority than the X. Then when a single Y is present, male is born. But when both the X's are present, then only female is born. So here we can see this will be a female, this will be a male, this will be a female, and this will be a male. So 2:2 ratio is there, or 1:1 ratio or there are 50% chances for a male offspring to be born and 50% chances are there for a female individual to be born. So in human beings, the sex determination is dependent upon the genetics of the individual, as we have sex chromosome as XX and XY, and there is a random fusion. So 50% chances are there for male and 50 are there for female. So this is about the sex determination in human beings. One thing more, in villages or in rural areas or even in cities, most of the time it is a myth though, mothers are blamed for producing female fetus or female child. It is said that this lady, this woman, it is producing only female fetuses or only girls. But we know that mothers or the female individual is not responsible for a male or female child. But who is responsible? Father is responsible. Father is the male partner is responsible for producing male or female individual because he has Y or X chromosome. If Y comes, then male is born. If X comes, then girl is born. On this side, both are same. So we should know these are the fathers which are responsible for producing a male or female child and not the mothers, which is still prevalent more in India, mostly in rural areas. So this is about the sex determination in human being. This is all for today. Thank you.